Hello sunflowers! Today in this video I will be doing my very first ever review of a TV series, and I'm starting off with a Korean drama series called Military Prosecutor Doberman. It is a military drama and has got quite some action, suspense, a thriller element as well in it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. Of course, this will have some spoilers, so bear with me on that. And also all the pictures are screenshots taken from my own mobile. I do not own any rights or whatever for the particular picture. I have taken these from my mobile and I will be covering a few aspects that I liked, a few dialogues I liked, a few incidents I liked, a few of my own opinions on the series itself, and I'll show you a few screen recordings I took of scenes that I liked. There will be a few biased opinions, hopefully not, but maybe. And this will have spoilers, so if you haven't watched it, you can go ahead and watch it and then come back. It's available on Rakuten Wiki, that is what I watch on. I'm sure that there are other platforms as well, but you can watch on that, and let's dive in. The very first one that I have taken is after the female lead does a huge action scene where she uses a windshield wiper, and hits all of the bad guys, the goons. And so that is the comment that you see running on top of the screen, that she wiped them out with the wiper. And another disclaimer is that not only am I paying attention to the dialogue that is going on in the series, but I also do read the comments, and there are a lot of times that the funniest things or the most thought-provoking things are said by other people in the comment section. It isn't a live comment section, but it will have a timestamp, so when you're watching it at a particular time in the series, like if it's season 1, episode 1, 9 minutes 32 seconds, then if someone gave a comment at that time, you can see it when you go to that. So that is how it works on Rakuten Wiki, and that is the very first one. The next one is a 9-seater van. Dude, she could have used a freaking reefer truck, because it could be a cargo truck or a cargo van. Why would you specify that they said a 9-seater van? And that seemed really suspicious, how they knew exactly that it was a 9-seater van, related that with the number of people that she had hit, 9 people. So that was a little bit weird. Another disclaimer that I did forget to mention is that I will be using all the background music from the series as background music for my video as well, and so that is not something that I own the rights to. It's stuff I downloaded off the internet, so I do not own the rights to it. I did like the songs, I have to say. They were apt for the situations and they were quite catchy. Next, we will see a video clip of how he parked a car when he was being chased by the police, when Doberman was being chased by the police. Again, I really liked the pun, Doberman as Doberman. That was good. So let's watch the clip, sit back, relax, and enjoy. The next one that I really liked the dialogue was, someone said that oblivion is God's blessing. I think I believe this a lot, because when you forget something that is bad, it does heal you, is what I feel. And I do not have that blessing. I'm not blessed with the gift of forgiveness. So I do remember bad things myself personally. When I read this, I remember what one of my teachers had said in school, that remembering is a gift of God, and just like that, forgiveness is also a gift of God. I have not been particularly blessed in that account. I remember stuff that people say that might have hurt me. I remember situations that might have hurt me. And when I saw this dialogue in the series, I realized that, yes, oblivion is a blessing, and that does help sometimes heal and cure people. Next, we say that before his family got into the accident, they received a call from someone. They hesitate to answer. They're in the military too. And that is a comment that I saw during the series, and I realized that the watchers are just as intelligent as the writers sometimes. They guessed that there was something going on. And I also like that in the scene, she was unflinchingly questioning. If I said it, you wouldn't believe me, because it is so terrifically crazy, but I'm saying it because I've experienced it and I know what's happening, and that's what she says. The next dialogue is also related to a one that we just spoke about. Sometimes memories can become poison. It's like the oblivion is God's blessing thing, because yes, we suffer our memories, we are made miserable by our own thoughts of the past, and we think of the harsh past we faced, and that's how we worry about the future, because we think that we might experience the same thing in the future, and it's hard to let go of something. So yes, sometimes memories can indeed become poison, not to our health directly, but to our mind and mental health. Yes, sorry, not health directly, meaning not physical health. But mental health is just as important. We have seen that from day and again. We have seen that mental health to us is as important as physical health. I have experienced this personally, and I've seen that it is indeed true that mental health and mental constitution is essential for a strong, healthy life in the physical realm. The next one is memories are only momentarily broken, not gone. And I think this is something that a lot of TV series and a lot of movies have touched upon, where a character might have gotten into a car crash or some vehicle collision and lose their memory. And this is only temporary, because they do try to trigger memories, they try to make them remember things by bringing in certain people, they try to jog their memory for something, and you realize they are broken for certain events, but they're not completely gone. The human brain does not work like that. We cannot erase our memories completely. It's just like a wound to the head. If you have a wound on your hand, the scar might be temporary, but you can cure that. You can get rid of that scar eventually, and that is the same thing with the brain and the mind and memories, is what I feel. Next one is, my style is not with a passionate heart, but with a cold brain. Wow, that is really, really savage. Because passion can only get you so far, and I think that the character of Doberman is also thinking that sometimes you have to be cold and heartless, and sorry, not heartless, but cold, and have a rock solid heart, and think with a chilly brain to get what you want. And you see that throughout the series, the way he handles the situations. It was interesting how military court is so much more intense than actual court that I've seen in movies, of course, and series, but military court was so much brutal, so much harsh. Doberman did explore that as a character pretty well. Next one was said by his upper management, a troublemaker like you who only says the right things. Do you know how difficult you make it for your superiors? And it was so sarcastic, it was so laughable, it was so humorous that when she does say the right things, the female lead does say the right things, she's still penalized for it, at least through words, and she is put down because of that. It showcases a lot about our culture nowadays, how sometimes it's not good to be right all the time, or at least not good to say the right thing all the time, because you irk the other person who knows that you're right but who is in a position of power and doesn't want to admit that you are right. Next we have 3 video clips in succession, and that's why I will tell you a bit about them all together, and then you can sit back and watch them together. The very first one is a video clip by the antagonist. He's thinking about the dark side of military prison. You see the contrast between what he has been brought up with, the privileges that he has been given just because he was born into high society, and you also see the dark side of how military prison is and how they treat people, no matter whether they are from high society or not. And it's something that we all can relate to, all can understand, whether we are in high society or not. You see the dark side of things. That is the first clip. The second clip is the court scene, which I did not get. Not that I didn't get it, it's that I didn't fathom that the judge couldn't see the Bluetooth speaker inside the prosecutor, the lawyer's ears. Like, how would a judge allow that? It seemed so questionable and funny and weird, basically. So how did that be allowed? That is the second clip. The third one is how that agent who tried to scam, the antagonist into this military world, and later he went to prison. How did it work out? Anyway, the agent, how could he run so fast, and how could he nearly outrun a car? That is the third clip, so you can watch those, and then we'll get back to a few scenes and dialogues.
군대 짬밥보다 감옥밥이 더 잘 나온 이유는 감옥엔 재벌들이 많이 가지만 군대는 재벌들이 절대 가지 않기 때문이라고 하더군요. 출발! 증인은
So we had a funny take on how the agent was trying to sideswipe a car, trying to outsmart physics, I don't know. Let's go into a more comical relief situation where Doberman is wondering what he's supposed to do with the antagonist's dog. He's like, what am I supposed to do with him? Wait, good, okay. And the way he ran, everything, it was so hilarious. And I like how there is a comic relief to the serious situation, because the military court, the military prison, it's all really, really, really dark and horrifying and hard to digest, but there is something to divert our attention so that we do not go into too much of a depressed state when seeing this TV series. Next is a very sad, tragic scene, for me at least, because I didn't know that this lady was so cruel that she actually made her assistant chop off the guy's leg. I think it was worse when she was trying to make her assistant do it, and then she did it herself. Not saying that that was a better move, but just saying that she took the bad vibes on herself. She did do the sin herself, and hats off to the acting and the loyalty of her assistant, but this was just wrong. They could have done something totally different, is what I felt. than actually making that guy lose his leg just to prove a point, just to say that what they were proving in court was right, just to show that she had power. And there's another comment that I saw, that why does this woman always wear black gloves? And we see later on that that is answered, so we do know what happened and why she was doing that. Like I said, a lot of times the viewers do notice some things during a TV series or a show, and we should acknowledge that there are a lot of smart people out there watching along with us. This was a comment I myself put. Thank goodness her subordinate hesitated, because yeah, it would have hurt me more to see her subordinate doing the dirty deed that she herself thought of and should actually be doing, because it just wasn't right. It wasn't right in the first place whether she or her subordinate did it, but it made it worse by actually making someone else do her dirty deeds. If she's getting her hands dirty, first of all, it's wrong. If she's making other people do her bidding, that's messed up. That's totally messed up. Next, we have 2 video clips. I'll just explain them and then you can watch them at once together. The first one is showing the cold-bloodedness of this lady. She's in the army. She is treated with fear, rather, and still she's so cold-blooded. And just watch that, her cold-bloodedness, rather. And the next clip shows a person in the military who gives hope that just with 1% courage you can do something, and that's what his elder brother, his Hyung, taught him, and that's what he tells to Doberman. And I think that is something that we can all gain inspiration from, that even if you have 1% courage to do something, just do it. Just go ahead and do it. You don't also always have to have the 100% confidence or even 99% confidence. Just 1% courage is enough, and I think that's truly, truly inspirational.
내 손에 피가 묻는 건 상관없어. 실수만 그뿐이니까. 일이 잘못되는 걸 두고 보는 것보다 훨씬 낫지. 그만 가봐, 쉬어야겠어.
중요한 거죠. 형은 저한테 늘 1%의 용기가 있다면 선택하라고 했습니다. 1%지만 그건 아무것도 하지 않는 영과는 아주 다른 선택이라고요.
This next one was, I don't know, remember if it was a comment I did or someone else did. He mentions that I'll decide after the press conference, the higher up, the superior to Doberman, and the female protagonist says this, but how did you know that it was a press conference? It was clearly kept under wraps. It was clearly secretive, so there must be some either conspiracy going on that we don't know about, or it was a flaw by the director. I don't know which it was. That was just something that I wanted to mention. Next, we have a few clips that I wanted to share. The very first one is showing how his friend types so fast. I don't know if that's possible at all, or if they just wanted to show that he is so much of a genius in that field. And after that, you can see the heights of corruption, the way they put the suitcases into the politicians' cars, the level of corruption. That was one thing. Another thing is how they wanted to find a certain soldier for a testimony and he kind of rapped. That was the third one. These are 5 clips in succession, so I'm just telling it to you now, and then you can sit back, relax, and watch the clips with no worries. And the 4th clip is the smartness in evilness shown by the lady villain, you can say. She speaks so well, her dialogues are so well written, but you can see the evil oozing out of her, literally oozing out of her. And in the fifth clip, she says a dialogue about revolution. And if it was said by the protagonist, or the hero, the heroine, the main lead, it would have been different, right? Because that would be so inspirational. But when it is said by the evil person, the antagonist, the villainess, it gives a darker shade to it. So those are the 5 clips. Just watch.
자, 2번의 클릭과 3초의 타이핑. 예스.
와, 대박.
근데 이거 한 달째 얼마나 됐어? 왜? 궁금해요? 거기서 나도 좀 궁금하게. 어디도 한 상제 어근 들겠죠? 그냥 싹 다 가지고 그냥 지도자도 모르게 사라져버려 그냥? 에이, 이 설아기의 스케일이지. 나쁜 짓도 이 정도를 걸어가며 해야 탈이 안 나는 거야. 저 높은 군발한 건데 대체 이걸로 뭘 하신 데 쓰실까요? 나라 지키는 데 쓰시나? 나라는 내가 내는 세금으로 지키는 것이고 설악산지 법인세가 얼마인지 내가 모범 납세자여. 예. 이것을 어디다 쓰는지 궁금하냐?
Oh shit, what the hell, motherfucking shit, huh?
저희 한삼수 씨 증언이 필요해서 찾아왔습니다.
증언? 하! 요, 법군님? 몰라, 이제 나는 민간인. 됐고 필요 없어 할 말이? 당신들? 이런 말할 자격조차 not-thing, 하?
아이고.
저 한삼수 씨, 저희랑 잠깐 얘기 좀.
헤이! 한삼수! 힙합계 명사 수! 난 네가 공간에서 당한 일을 알고 있어. 쉣, 네가 뭘 알아? You know? 당신들이 먼저 왔던 내가 당한 일? 난 몰라. 원래 나는 홀로 다 찢었어. 내 국방색을 컬러. You know what I'm saying? 네가 공간에 나간 뒤에도 병사들이 계속 아파했고 부사관들 여전히 거기서 고통을 겪고 있고 이제 진짜 힙합 정신 뭔지 보여줘야 되고 네가 당한 부조리 갚아줄게 모조리. 요, 힙합 정신 집어쳐다 개소리. 내가 당한 부조리 다 필요 없어. Don't tell me. 그 18개월 동안 난 못 돌아가. 군대 절대 안 바뀌니 그냥 돌아가. 아하, 바뀌었어 세상이. 그러니까 우리 힘들었던 거 말 좀 하자. 하? 세상 사람들이 알 수 있게. 하? 너 혼자만 알고 있지 말고. 하? 군대를 바꿀 수 없을지 몰라도 조금은 바뀌게 만들 수 있다고. 한석수 씨, 이제 이거
보이는 적은 충분히 대응할 수 있지. 뒤통수는 언제나 혁명을 위해 필요한 건 2개라고 하더군. 열정과 대담함.
The next clip is said by his superior, geez, I should practice being brave seriously. And that shows how much the female protagonist showcases her bravery, showcases her outgoingness. And I really like the way she speaks. She's so bold and she's so outgoing and she says the right things. And I think the superior also realized that he isn't as brave and he should be, and he's just following orders without thinking right. Yoon Mong-gu says this sentence, living is war, and I think it's something that we can all relate to at some point of life. If you are born into difficulties, if you're born into, I'm sorry to say, poverty or anything that is less than what humans need for their day-to-day living, you realize that living is war. You realize this at a younger age. If you do live in luxury, or even if you live in, an adequate home with sufficient food, water, money, shelter, clothes, the basic needs. And if you have a little extra for, special things, you wouldn't realize that living is at war until you start earning or you start facing the difficulties that the world, the universe, people in the world throw at you. And I think there's a real profound meaning to what he said. It's true that he's the bad guy, he's part of the bad guys, and him saying it, like I said, the dialogues written here were really good, but sometimes they're said by the wrong people, right? Yeah, and the next one is also related to this. Call home a battlefield, your opponents are so-called family members. This is a comment that I read there, and it's true. If living was war, if you relate living to being in a war zone, home is your battlefield and your opponents are your family members. And it's a lot of times seen that in one home itself there's so many variety of difference in opinion and stuff like that, and you have to deal with that every day. And I'm not saying that everyone in everybody's home is bad or anything, but we always have difference of opinion, and when there is difference of opinion, there might result in conflict, and waging war is just how you deal with conflict. There have been wars that have been waged with peace, so it's not that it's always fighting and bloodshed and all that, but yeah, sometimes war can just be sitting your family members down and talking to them and letting them know what your opinion is and whether what they said or what they did was right or morally or legally or right at that moment of time. So I guess that comment also resonated with me, of how you relate living to war and how you relate the battlefield to home and family members to your opponents. It's not always true, but if it is, you have to learn to face with it. That's all. Okay, so let's go into some funny dialogue after all the seriousness. Doberman's aunt and Doberman's superior do give a lot of comic relief in this drama, and it was needed. The way his aunt treats him, it's so loving, and then it's so hilarious at the same time. And the superior also is so funny. He follows instructions, and he doesn't realize that sometimes he is responsible for a lot of corruption that's going on. And the next two clips are the same dialogue that the aunt says is, "Now that I look at you again, you are a man." And I've just taken the clip of his reaction to what she said. She says it when she's drunk, and I think they're both drinking at the time. But yeah, it's funny how up till that time she was just treating him as, her nephew's superior, and it ended at that. And then that was that moment that clicked where he seemed like a man to her. It's romantic, and it's funny and hilarious, and it's a huge comic relief at the same time. Like I said, there were portions of this series where there were portions of fun and the funny element with Doberman's stunts and his funny nature and how he deals with things in a comical manner. And there are some characters like this who do give a bit of comic relief, but yeah, overall it is a serious toned drama. Now, this was a moment that shocked us all. The friend, the politician, the scammer. I was just thrilled by looking at the way they created that handshake, the trio handshake, and we doubt the friend completely. Like I said, this has spoiler alerts, but we doubt the friend completely, and this was a moment where it was so shocking. So hats off to the creators of this moment, the trio handshake, the reason, the way the suspense built. They built the suspense for this one. Wow. Next we have a clip. This is the very last clip, so I will try to wrap things up now. It was shown by the high society guy's son. He's seeing the X-File in a flashback. It's shown as a flashback, but his hair wasn't that short when he got the CEO position. I think this was a comment that I myself did. I'm sorry, this is not a clip. It is a screenshot of the same thing. But yeah, it's shown as an flashback, but I think there was a continuity error in the post-production, and they just thought, oh, we have to show this flashback, but he had already cut his hair for the military regime. So this ends my review for Doberman, Military Prosecutor Doberman. I do have a few final thoughts that I want to touch upon. The suspense, the thrilling nature, the darkness, and the drama did build up to a certain point of time. But the ending did not give justice to me, particularly. Of course, it's my opinion. I don't know if everyone felt that way. Yeah, I did find a lot of elements that I liked. The intensity, the way the court scenes were done, the way they kind of opened a door for us into how abuse is done in a military prison, how it is so horrifying, how there is mistreatment even if you are from high society. And I don't know if it's true or if it's dramatized, but it was really horrifically done. And at the end, I did want something to, treat the crescendo. I didn't get that. There were a lot of great characters. The female character, her dual personality, everything is amazing. She is amazing. I think she steals the show more than Doberman himself, because he has that funny quirkiness, but we see the seriousness in her character, and we see how she really strives to do the best she can. So that's me. That's the end of this. I hope to post more and more TV series reviews of all languages alike. I wish to do that, and I hope to see you soon for that. If you did like this review, if you did like this TV series, if you have any thoughts, you can comment below. If you have any other TV series that you'd like me to show and review, you can comment that below as well. And if you liked it, please do mention that you liked it. Please like it and share with anyone who is interested in this, in military dramas or any dramas. You can mention below. You can share with whoever, and your subscription will be an encouragement. And you can ring the bell to get notifications of when I do post a new video. Thank you. Bye, sunflowers. See you in the next review, next video. Bye.